Zach and Kate, I'm sure you guys know about the concept of flywheels in business, and I think with MrBeast, we're seeing a creator economy flywheel for the first time, where MrBeast gets so many views on his videos that then he has more money to reinvest them, which in turn gets more views, so that no creator in that style of content will ever be able to catch up with him. I'm wondering what other opportunities you guys see in the creator economy for flywheels and for creators to kind of have this lasting competitive advantage.
All right. Thanks, Jamie, for that question. Kate, you want to take a first swing at this?
This is a phenomenal question. I think we've seen more and more creators kind of buy into the MrBeast model of like, how do I spend money in order to obtain more impressions?
Do you also want to describe, for those that don't know, what is a flywheel competitive advantage?
Oh man, dude, you're gonna make me give some business lessons. So the way that I think about a flywheel is you're doing some sort of input that is creating kind of exponential output on the end, right? And so it's like as you pour energy or time or money or resources or whatever into something, you're actually seeing the results of that come back around. So in the example that Jamie is giving, MrBeast is spending more money to garner more impressions so that he can sell more products, so that he can make more money, so that he can spend more money. And then you're kind of just going around and around, and the flywheel is feeding itself. So as you're gaining more impressions, you're selling more product, and as you're selling more product, you have more money to go spend on videos.
And it's essentially gotten to the point where it's created like what's called a moat for him, where now it's very difficult for other creators to compete with MrBeast on the amount of money that is spent on a video, because he's essentially just done this for over a decade, and it's gotten to the point where nobody can compete with him on the amount of money spent.
Right, because I'm giving $1,000 away in a thumbnail next to a MrBeast video where he's giving away $1 million, you're like, yeah, there's no competition, right? And then his production value goes up as a result, and so then, retention goes up, and so all of the things start to like feed each other, and then you see the behemoth that Beast is right now.
Do you think that you can think of other creators off the top of your head that have created other sorts of moats or flywheels that feed off itself? I can think of one while you go. I think brand is a moat and brand is a flywheel. It's a bit of a cop-out answer, but I think creators that, I think Colin and Samir, our good friends, do a good job at this, where they've started a channel, they interview guests. The guests that they interview incentivize other guests to come onto the platform, and those get bigger and bigger and bigger. And now they're interviewing some of the biggest creators and stars in the world. And then it becomes very hard for anyone else to get to the point where they can get to the same level of guests. That's created a brand for them, and the brand becomes the moat. And so I think that's another flywheel that exists. These exist, again, all the time in business, with like different power laws that exist. That's another one that I can think of. Any others that come to mind?
Yeah, I think emotional attachment is one. So if you're planting the seeds of videos that are helping an audience actually generate some sort of emotional attachment, there's a likelihood that they're starting to share those things with friends, and you're actually starting to kind of build a meaningful vehicle where you're able to tell stories and that actually has a relationship with an audience, right? So like, I think of the way that Beast is doing it is like, I spend more money to get more impressions so that I can sell more product, so that I can make more expensive videos. And I think there's something to be said for the same on emotional attachment. I'm making videos to like bring out a feeling in people. That feeling is making them watch more. That feeling is making them more connected as a community, or like it's starting to create opportunities for that. And over time, they start to become the evangelists of a brand. I think that's probably more the rare case, but making that conscious, I think you can imagine that it becomes a flywheel for some brands, some creator brands.
I think the other one that comes to mind for me is subject matter expertise. So if you make videos about reviewing tech products and you are just super well known as the person that knows everything about the latest gadgets and the latest tech products, then every new tech company or company that is calling you up like, hey, promote this, put like, what do you think about this? And you're getting to see everything first. You're getting insider knowledge into everything. You get to chat with all the smartest minds in the world of tech and gadgets. And then now you have a moat, because as a new tech reviewer channel, you don't know the next time Meta's going to put out AR glasses, but like MKBHD knows what next time Meta's going to put out tech glasses, and is reviewing them and getting first insider access and is able to chat with Zuckerberg. And so I think that's another moat that can be created. I think the point of this is the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, and momentum is real, and you can build on it and put one brick on top of another. And when you look back over the course of a decade, you're like, wow, I've built something that now is very hard for other creators to compete with me on. So there's a lot of flywheels possible. There's a lot of moats that can be created to protect a channel against new incumbents. But the core matter is like, rather than focusing too much on that, start the momentum of a new channel. And I think it will lead to something that over time will be hard to compete with.
100%. One other just random thought that came to mind, which is, I think oftentimes we think of creator businesses like strictly a funnel. So YouTube channel is my top of funnel, and then maybe I have a newsletter, and then maybe I'm selling product. And so I think of it more like a funnel, and I'm trying to kind of, everything that I'm launching, I'm trying to capture a smaller percentage of the audience that's willing to buy something from me. There's also another way of thinking about this, which is that every project that launches is helping build a world, right? And so it actually, like, there's nothing to be said for the fact that you as a YouTuber might have 1 million subscribers, but you could launch a newsletter that ends up being way more impactful than what the YouTube channel was, right? And those things can feed each other in a way that's really powerful. There's this example of a woman on TikTok that launched, like, I think she had a decent TikTok following, was like into psychology, talking about kind of Carl Jung and shadow work and whatever. And then she launched this journal that was about shadow work that became way more popular than what her TikTok had already been, right? And so you can also think of it in this way, which is then that product ends up doing the reverse of the way that we normally think of it, which is that's now feeding her TikTok. And now she's able to have more of a platform because the thing she actually launched into the world was more valuable even than the content she was making in the first place. I don't think we often think of it that way, but I think we'll start to see more of that, which is we're seeing more creators come in that are a little bit more entrepreneurial minded, and they will launch things that end up actually feeding the content back versus just needing to have the content feed the product sales.
I think that's absolutely true.